The Barcelona Airport, named El Prat with the airport code BCN, is about 9 miles or 15 kilometers from the city center. If it's your first time coming here, I'll explain where the city center is. It's the area around Plaza de Catalunya, which you see here. Plaza de Catalunya, or just Catalunya, is a big square with these huge big water fountains on one side. Below the square is Las Ramblas, which is probably the most famous street in Barcelona. Has a big walkway through the middle of the street and many restaurants and all kinds of shops or whatever. It's where all the tourists go. So above Catalunya Square is Passeig de Gracia, or just Gracia. And that's a huge boulevard with all kinds of shopping, along with a few Gaudi buildings that a lot of people go to see. Also, on one side of the square is a high-end mall called El Corte Inglés, and that's directly to the right of where you're looking right now. And you can see there's a bus right there. That's the Aero Bus that goes to the airport, and it stops right in front of this mall on the right. So Plaza de Catalunya is also a really big underground train station where many metro and commuter train lines all meet. So even if you're not staying in this area, you will definitely come here on your visit, or you'll most likely need to travel through here to change trains to where you need to go. So now when I mention Catalunya or Gracia, you know where I'm talking about. Now for the airport. There are two terminals, T1 and T2, but they are really far apart, so you need to take a free shuttle bus to get between the two. The commuter or urban train line called R2 or R2 North is only accessible at Terminal 2. So if you decide to take this train, you need to get to Terminal 2. So now let's discuss your options to get to the city center. For buses, there are regular city buses going from the airport to Catalunya. There is the 46 bus in the daytime and the N17 night bus that runs late at night. The price of these are the same as a regular bus, metro, or tram, which is €2.20 or 2.2 euros, or about €1 if you have the T10 card, and I'll explain this card later. Also, there's the Aero Bus, which you just saw in the video of Plaza Catalunya, and this is an express bus that runs between the airport and Catalunya, ending in front of the mall El Corte Inglés. This bus costs €5.9 or 10.2 euros round trip. And the round trip ticket is good for 15 days, and they leave about every 5 to 10 minutes, and it takes about 30 or 40 minutes to get to the city center. And here is a look at the bus at T2. The Aerobus is a good option if you don't want to worry about having to change trains. As for the trains, there's two options. There is a recently built metro named the L9 that stops at both Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. And although this sounds like the easiest, cheapest option, it's not. First of all, it's not the same price as the regular metro. It costs 4.6 euros, and more importantly, it doesn't go to the city center. So to get to Catalunya from the L9, you have to change to the L1 metro at Torrassa and then take the L1, and that will take you to Catalunya. Also, all of these stops in between, there's 20 stops in between the airport and Catalunya, and so that could take about 40 minutes. So here's what it looks like on the map of where you would be going. The better train option, in my opinion, is the Renfe commuter or urban train, the R2 or R2 North, or Nord, N-O-R-D, they call it. You can use the same card that you use for the metro or the bus or the trams on this train. So it will only cost you 2.2 euros or only 1 euro if you use the T10 card. This train only stops at Terminal 2 and does not stop at Catalunya. But to get to Catalunya, you can take the train to Pasig De Gracia station, and as you see on this map here, to walk from Gracia station to Catalunya Park is only about 700 meters or 4/10 of a mile. Or you can take this train, the R2 North, to Barcelona Sants station and switch to another train, either the R1, R3, or R4, because they all stop at Catalunya station. Normally I take the R1 in the direction of Mataro, M-A-T-A-R-O. So these are really the options in a nutshell. If you want to take the bus, I would recommend taking the Aero Bus, just because it's quicker. If you're going to take the train, I think I would take the R2 North train instead of the metro. In terms of taxis, you can always get a taxi. Obviously that's going to be more expensive, probably 30, 40, 50 euros. And as of right now, there are no car sharing apps in Barcelona. Uber withdrew because of some new rules they wanted to put on them. So that's not an option. One last thing about the T10 card that I said I would mention. So the T10 card is a card you can buy from the train vending machines at all the stations, and it's good for 10 trips, and you can share it. So if you're with somebody, you put the card in the thing, let them go through, take the card, put it in again, and you go through, and so you use 2 trips. The other option is to pay individually, and that's 220 euros for each one. So getting the T10 card is less than half of the normal fare. And the only other real option is the 1-day card, the unlimited 1-day card, and that's 8.6 euros. So it really doesn't make sense to get that card unless you think you're going to do more than 8 trips in 1 day, which is almost impossible unless you're doing a million things from morning till night. Normally you're just going to go into the city and take a train or switch to a tram or a bus or something, maybe once or twice. And by the way, the transfers are free from the metro to the bus or the tram. You can switch between any one of those for 75 minutes after you first enter the system. So if you enter the metro and you want to take the metro someplace and then get out and take the tram or the bus, as long as it's within 75 minutes of when you first got on the metro, the transfer is free. So it's a really good deal, real good way to get around, and I highly recommend getting the T10 card. So that's my video on how to get from the Barcelona airport to the city center. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.